Hey, welcome back, future rich people. So, once again, another video by rareh.com. Today we are going to be going over SSL certificates, purchase and setup. So, as you can see, I'm already here at rareh.com. So let's go ahead and jump right into it. So for our SSLs, we're going to look over to the far right hand side of the navigation bar. You're going to see site security. That's one way that you can get to it, or you can just go to the drop down specifically for SSL certificates. So for this one, we're going to go to that specific page. Alright, so as you can see, once we get to the page, we have a total of 5 plans, 3 up top, 2 in the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and just briefly talk about each one of the plans really quick. So starting with the standard SSL that we have here, this is going to protect one single site. For this one, it's pretty simple. Really, all that you need to do is just tell the SSL which domain name or which website you want to protect, and pretty much right away it's installed. It is pretty much the exact opposite of what the premium version is, which is right down here. The premium is also known as the extended validation. With extended validation, goes through the process of you having to send in your actual business license, having to get in a couple of legal documents so you can physically verify your company and who you are. So it's the absolute best way to go if you're a full-fledged organization or full-fledged company that does have their LLC essentially incorporated at that point in time. Really the biggest difference between the two is just going to be the level of protection. This one does actually give you a security trust seal on the actual website, and Google does give you a little bit more of an SEO boost whenever it comes to the rankings, because you have been validated as a specific company and they essentially know that you are who you say you are because of that extended validation. But going back up to the standard SSL for the 5 site, so the exact same thing as a standard SSL, except this one protects 5 sites in total. Then we have our standard SSL, which is going to protect unlimited amount of subdomains. So for example, if you have one single domain name, but you have a bunch of subdomains, and if you're not too familiar with what a subdomain is, in a nutshell, it is a part before the domain name. So for example, rareh.com, that is my specific domain name. If we had a subdomain, we can name the subdomain like new.rareh.com. The subdomain would be new. Another example, if we had, let's say, dev for developer, so dev.rareh.com, the dev would be the subdomain in the name. So some people like to use subdomains to create different landing pages, different portions of the website, really. So that leaves us with our last one, which is going to be the premium SSL for 5 sites. So that's going to be the extended validation, just like the single one, but for 5 different websites. Today we are going to be going through the setup for the standard SSL. So we're going to go ahead and add this one to the cart. Once we have that in the cart, like I always say, you always want to make sure that the amount of years that you register the SSL for is always going to be matching the amount of years that you have the domain name registered for. The only exception is that SSLs can only be registered at a maximum of 3 years, and the reason why, every 3 years you do essentially have to go through the revalidation process. So if you do the 3 years and you do have your domain name for a 5-year business term, for example, really always try to make sure that you do set a note aside, letting you know that you do have to renew your SSL. By default, all products are always set to automatically renew. You can turn that off, of course, but if the auto renew fails, or if you forget to essentially update your payment method on file, you do risk having your website going down temporarily until you get that paid or until you get that situated. But hey, I'm going to go ahead and get this paid for. I'm going to jump into the account, and I'll walk you through the setup, so I'll be right back. Alright, so as you can see, we are officially back inside of the account. We are working out of Finesse Express's account today that we are building an online store for them. So as you can see, the hosting has already been set up. This is going to be a requirement before you get into the setup of the SSL and the website security. So you can tell that the website hosting has already been set up by it displaying the domain name directly under the hosting, and by the fact that instead of seeing the setup button like you see down here, you actually see a manage button right up here. So we can now officially go into the setup of the SSL certificate. So if you look to where it says standard SSL, to the far right, you're going to see that gray setup button. Go ahead and click on that. Once you're on this page, you're going to go ahead and see that it's asking you to select a domain name that is hosted with us, and you'll get a drop down. you'll see the domain name here. If you have multiple domains, you'll see a longer list. You will also see it say here, provide a certificate signing request, also known as a CSR. So essentially what that is that if you have hosting with another company instead of us, you can still buy an SSL with us. You just have to get your hosting company to provide a CSR, or a certificate signing request. It's essentially just a snippet of code that they would give to you. All that you do is copy and paste it into this box here, and then you would continue with the setup the exact same way. So essentially copy and paste it, agree to the terms, and then hit request certificate. So the exact same thing. For this, of course, we're going to select the domain name. So select the domain name hosted with us, drop down Finesse Express. We're going to agree to the terms and conditions. We're going to hit the big blue button for request certificate. So once we get over to this page, you're going to see that it is the pending verification page. So essentially there's nothing else that you have to do here. So as you can see, it's very, very easy to set up an SSL. Almost no effort at all. Really just clicking a number of buttons is all that it is. But at this point, it will take 24 to 48 hours for the SSL to automatically install. Keep in mind, it will only automatically install if you have both the SSL, domain name, and hosting all in one account. If you do the other way with the CSR, then at that point you will get a download link for a file. You're going to download that to your computer, then you jump over to your hosting and download that file to your hosting in order to get the SSL to activate on your website. So as you can see, it is a whole lot easier if you have all your products in one single account. So if you don't already have that, I would definitely recommend moving over to one company and one company only. Alright, so that concludes the video on how to set up an SSL certificate to a currently existing hosting. If you did happen to find this video very informative, go ahead and leave a like down below. Also, if you wouldn't mind, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the bell icon so you can be part of the notification squad. If you guys have any comments, leave them down in the comment section below. I will try to reach out to every single one of you guys if possible. Along with that, go ahead and let me know what you guys are doing. Let me know what kind of businesses you guys are trying to start off, and I'll see if I can try to help you out. But hey, as always, I'll see you guys next time. Have a good one. Bye-bye.